the candidate with the most votes is declared the winner in the first round of the election, as long as that candidate gains 25% of the votes in 2/3 of Nigeria's 36 states. So in other words, if Peter Obi is going to win, he will have to gain at least 25% of the votes in 24 states.
Oh my God, that is another topic for today, in fact. Can you imagine? And the effrontery of the APC to tell us that the bullion van missed road. It was a mistake. Hi, God.
So Muslims, to a large extent, they are more trustworthy than Christians. And this is something we Christians need to sit down and ask ourselves, why is it like that?
At the risk of sounding like an ethnic bigot, from personal experience, I think Northern Nigerians, even people that are not from Northern Nigeria, when those that grew up in Northern Nigeria are normally more sincere than those that grew up outside Northern Nigeria.
Turn it up. I told you now. Please.
You are worse than me.
Another year is ending. Shey, you dey whine me.
Hello. Welcome to an episode of the Battle Box Podcast. Thank you guys for being here. We are live and direct, recording here just before the 2023 election. So today's topic is going to be juicy. There's going to be a lot of fire, and also hopefully be entertaining as well as educating. I thank you guys for being here. Judith, thank you for joining, and also Aura, thank you for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you again for being here, guys. So how are you doing? How is Northern Nigeria, Judith? What's happening?
Northern Nigeria is beautiful this morning. Same old, nothing new.
Isn't there Harmattan right now?
Yes, there's return of Harmattan. Climate change, I guess.
Yeah, was there one? I thought it's like maybe November, December, or there about January, first week, second week. So when you say return, it means you've had one and you have another one again.
Yes, we are supposed to be experiencing, I think, the heat season now. But here we are, dry and cold, like the Harmattan.
Oh, wow. Now, is it foggy?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I used to remember that. I like that part about Harmattan.
You do?
Yeah. Because It's different. It's just different. Normally, it's always hot, or rainy. So Harmattan is, in my opinion, too short.
Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, isn't it short?
Well, it's enough, just enough.
Yeah. Compared to the last season, I think it's really short.
Enough.
Yeah. Hi, Ore. How are you doing? What's going on? How is Las Gidis?
Hello, Brother Mike. Hello, Judith. Well, unlike the opinion that Judith has, I actually enjoyed the Harmattan season. It reminds me of Christmas. It reminds me of celebration. It reminds me of a season to just chill with family, just rest your mind, no jumping bus to go to work and things like that. And right here in Lagos, people are getting ready for the election, the upcoming election. And we believe, because people are more determined to vote this year, I don't know what really what encourages them to do that, or what encouraged them rather to do that, but they are more knowledgeable and they are more determined than ever before. So we're looking up to, we're waiting for tomorrow, and hopefully we get the best candidate that wins this year.
Yeah, is that the function of the internet being available and everybody having an iPhone or
I think it's a function
Android
of that.
Yeah. Information is readily more disseminated. Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I think people have seen Shege.
That too.
So, when you feel shaggy for so long, your mindset starts to reboot your mindset, starts to beat sense into you. Mm-hmm. So that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see shaggy and still not know that you can do anything about it. But the internet has made us know that we are seeing shaggy, but it's in our hands to change that.
By going to the polls, by going to the polls.
Yes, absolutely.
Voting. Yeah. Speaking of shege, I don't know. There are a lot of shege. Can I say that? So for those who are not,
I think it's sheges.
Sheges. So shege is pepper. It's like fire. Is like something that's trouble. Problem. Yeah, so many adjectives. But we've seen a lot of that just in the last 8 years, and people are more determined to eradicate shege and make Nigeria better, and that's why people are really excited. I got an email from someone that a lot of the banks are going to be closed at noon the day before the election. Some places the day of the election. There's also military presence. You are recording this just before the election. Military presence and just everybody, movement is restricted. It reminds me kind of the days where there used to be riots and protests just before 99 when Obasanjo came into power. So really, really a very interesting time, I would say. What are you guys seeing out there on the streets of Lagos or northern Nigeria?
Down here, there is not much going on. I think people are more focused on looking for cash. That seems to be a challenge right now than the elections. People have just made up their minds that tomorrow they're going to go and vote. But another thing I've noticed is panic buying. People are buying, going to the market and panic buying, because you know how elections are in Nigeria, quite unpredictable. We could wake up and hear that there's a curfew in the state, so people are buying to. I think that's like the major thing. People are struggling for cash, and then people are panic buying.
So things like food stuff.
Yes, food stuff, nothing else. Food supply.
Wow.
Maybe it's because of where you are, Judith. Over here, like food stuff is really scarce. It's scarce.
Oh,
you don't even have the money to buy it. So when you buy the money to buy the food stuff, then to get the food stuff is another challenge. So,
really?
like you said, yes, people want to buy, but there's been scarcity. Take for instance, my dad went to the market the other time. The market is always loaded. Like he went to the foodstuff market and he went to the groceries. Like it was literally empty. Those two places. Yes, is that terrible here? Because those guys don't have money to even.
Yes, they don't have cash. Is it a function of the cash?
They don't have money to restock their businesses, and the people also, they don't have money to buy. And when you say you want to even transfer, you could wait days. I sent money to my sister about 2 weeks ago. Till now, she has not gotten the money.
Oh wow!
Crazy.
That's actually interesting. Crazy. That's interesting because I tried sending money to someone. Normally, they will get it same day, and it took them like 2 days before they got the money, which is weird. Like, then I've also had some reverse transactions whereby I'll send someone money, but then the money will come back to me. Yeah. I've never seen that before. Like the money will go out, but then it will come back to my.
You've never seen it before.
Yeah,
we are used to it.
Really? Wow.
It's more profound now than before.
Yeah.
Actually,
something is just messed up. But
yesterday I had to go around to resend money to people I bought things from that the monies were returned to me. As little as 2,500, 3,000, 3 different people. I had to go around again to resend their monies. Wow. That's what we're going through here.
Because you sent
sad.
it, but they got it.
I sent it and it was reversed.
It was reversed. Yeah, that happened to me, and I thought it was weird. The person was like, "I'm not going." I went and I sent him a screenshot. You know that screenshot that you send them, so they can know that. So I sent him a screenshot and I said, "Believe me, I sent it."
You're almost swearing.
Yeah, here's the screenshot. I sent it, but they're like, "Yeah, I seen the screenshot. I believe it was not here yet." So I now had to log in again. It took like hours and hours for it to be reversed. Before, the reversal was right away, but like hours. So there was so much pandemonium and confusion and what's going on. So, but I think I want to touch on what Aura said. She said you have to buy money to buy the money to buy the thing, which was very interesting. So normally it was like if you want to get 1,000 naira or 5,000 naira, you pay. I think it was
100 naira.
I was in Nigeria in December of 22, and then it was like 100 naira. I wouldn't be doing shakara because we would be like 150. I would say no, I want to pay 100 naira. But what I'm told now is to get like maybe 10,000, you have to pay a lot. Is that right?
You have to pay like 3,000 to 4,000.
Yeah.
Are you serious? So that POS people are making a kill. Oh my God, I need to go into POS business.
They're the odd guys in the
However,
market right now.
yeah. However, down here,
You mean up here?
I think
You mean
it's
up here?
up here rather. Well, I think it's a bit better here because they don't charge you that much. Maybe it's a function of Islam. You know, Islam does not permit profit making, something like that. Profit making. So even the Muslim banks, they don't charge excessively. I think they have been one of the most honest banks so far in this period. So it doesn't cost that much to withdraw down here, up here rather.
Up here, yeah, thank you. So Christianity is also, there's something in Christianity that talks about that. Again, sorry guys, this podcast, we had a plan, I promise. We had an agenda, but every time you have three of us here, we just talk about all kind of stuff. So sorry about taking you on a ride here, talking about religion, so talk about election. But anyway, the Christianity also, as a matter of fact, has this thing whereby you're not supposed to profit. Like in the Old Testament, it talks about that. So I don't know if it is a religious matter. Some people can argue it is. I would want to presume that it's more of an economical principle whereby you have demand and supply, economics 101. And because of the population, there are more people in there. The demand is very high. The demand is higher. If more people want something, anything, the price will go up. Unfortunately, that's kind of the consequence of the Buhari government, which the CBN governor Emefiele is not even helping, such that the House of Assembly had to pass a bill to extend it, I think, through the middle of the year. And then they went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court got involved, and the Buhari came out and was like, I'm the military head here. Who cares about Supreme Court? Like what I say happened. Who cares about Supreme Court?
As usual.
But the funny bitter thing is that I'm a Christian, right? I carry God on my head, but we need to be sincere. Muslim, to a very good extent, they are more trustworthy than Christians. So I also buy into the school of thought that these Muslim guys, they are more sincere doing business than we Christians. We Christians, we say we are serving God. At the same time, we are looting our fellow brothers and sisters. But Muslims, if you go, like my daddy actually patronizes some Muslim guys when he wants to buy groceries. So if my dad tells them that I just have 1,000 to get this pineapple, this guy is a Muslim, is going to understand. But if you say this to a Christian, they can tear you down. So Muslims, to a large extent, they are more trustworthy than Christians. And this is something we Christians need to sit down and ask ourselves, why is it like that? It's not just this season, it's not just this era. It has always been like that. It's like a tradition. For someone to say that I trust Muslims more than Christians is a slap on our faces. It's really painful.
That is a very hot topic, because I have friends that we've actually debated this same very topic. And it's a very divided house, because 50 to 70% of them agree with that sentiment. I would be one that I would also say that most of my friends that are Muslims, I find that statement to be somewhat true. And I don't know why that is the case. I really honestly don't know why, but I can agree to you to an extent. I can agree with you to an extent. Go ahead.
I also agree to an extent. However, I believe that it is more of a northern thing than a Muslim Christian thing.
Why so?
Okay. So, if you say it's a Muslim thing, would you also attribute that to a Yoruba Muslim?
No,
or
you're
it's
bringing
just
on
I see
that.
the angle you're coming from.
Yeah,
So
another
it's
layer.
it's more of a northern thing than
Like the punk Muslims.
No, not
I don't know.
Muslim.
I don't
It's
know.
more
Even
of a
like
northern thing.
Southwestern Muslims.
I've been
they're also
I've
very.
been
Yeah.
across. I've been in the northern part of Nigeria, western and eastern part of Nigeria, and I can tell you that the difference is clear. So I want to believe Islam plays a role. However, it is more of a northern thing.
I hear what you're saying. So I hear what you're saying. For me, though, what I'm struggling with is by suggesting that you are going into the cultural fabric of the Nigerian state. And you are also making a premonition that because the Northerners are more structured and the Northerners are more, in terms of leadership, they are more loyal. Unlike the Easterners, for example, the Easterners, for example, if you want to do a juxtaposition, rather, I think that that's a very deep conversation that, to an extent, it might sound like mental gymnastics to assume that Northern Nigeria is more sincere. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm struggling with that, and I please help me out, Judith. Say more.
At the risk of sounding like an ethnic bigot, from personal experience, I think Northern Nigerians, even people that are not from Northern Nigeria, when those that grew up in Northern Nigeria are normally more sincere than those that grew up outside Northern Nigeria. I'm sorry if that's...
No. I agree with you. I agree with you completely. And this is a very good conversation to have as a country, Nigeria. You live in Northern Nigeria, so that bias might be obvious. I don't live in Northern Nigeria. Just to extrapolate from that bias, for someone who's not living in Nigeria at all, I've met Ghanaians, I've met Cameroonians, I've met Ethiopians, and just the way they think, the way they act, as we all here, all Nigerians, so we're not shading any Niger, or our Nigerness should not be in doubt. But with the way they think, the way they react is quite different. And what I mean to say is that when in Nigeria, when I go into a room, everybody knows I'm a Nigerian. There's something about me that just shouts Nigerian. I think I want to be smarter than everybody else. And, sometimes I tend to do that. Nigerians just have this thing about them, which when I was in college, the school I went to here in the States, we Nigerians never got along with those other Africans. They hated us. They didn't like us. They just thought we were like, we always show ourselves. And so going back to what Judith is saying, to corroborate your comments or your points, there is where you are from largely impacts your worldview. Yeah, it impacts your worldview. If you're from Northern Nigeria, even though I know we don't make this a religious thing, whereby Sharia is a thing, you pray 5 days a week. You have different practices.
5 times a day, rather.
5 times a day. I'm sorry. Thank you for that. You pay 5 times a day. And so the way you see the world is different in terms of fairness, humanity, and just your perception. I don't know. So I kind of agree with Judith a little bit in the sense that it might be people in Northern Nigeria used to be very good. Like if you listen to our parents back in the day, I was listening to something about Olu Jacobs, who was born in Northern Nigeria. And one of the things he was saying was, back then, Nigeria was for everybody. You could go from Kaduna to Kano to Casino, anywhere you go. You had no problems, So I don't know. We don't want to talk about Biafra at all and how this all started. But this is a very interesting conversation. But if we can just take it back to the election, I feel like we've gone like 360 degrees from where we started.
Okay, I believe, I won't say I believe, but I want to think that these Northerners or these Muslim guys that have left the northern region and now they're in the southern eastern part of Nigeria, there's a high tendency that they've mixed with other people. So can I use the word they've gotten softer, right? They've been diluted. Again, this is no shading in any form or any way, but they've diluted. So you praying 5 times a day, when you come down here, it's not mandatory. It might not be mandatory for them to pray 5 times. They could just do 3 times. I mean, the northern Nigeria, you don't have to wake up every morning, jump bus, look for how to get your things sorted out. My dad's driver was a Muslim. So are you telling me that when my dad's driver is on a journey, you then park the car to pray 5 times a day?
Yeah.
Exactly. So things are now different. So there's a high possibility that they are more sincere in the northern region than here. Not because they want to, but because that's where they find this.
The environment shapes your perception of reality. The environment also shapes your behavior. If you're in Lagos where you have to hustle, things tend to ultimately affect how you see the world. But if you're in a culture whereby your religion can flourish, if you're in an environment whereby your practices and your belief can flourish, I think that you'll be more likely to stick to it or to adhere to it. I mean, that's a good conversation. But back to the Naira situation, Buhari was getting stoned. You know, he was in Katsina, his hometown. He went there and they were stoning him. Even his helicopter was getting stoned, and it was. I think they said that wasn't like it was his advanced convoy. You know, before the president goes somewhere, there's a convoy that they will send before they send him, before he goes. And he was kind of saying, oh wow, that's not really me, you know. But it doesn't really matter. The fact that they're stoning your convoy in northern Nigeria and you're from the north, that says really, really
Speaks volume.
That's
his states, not just
exactly his own home state. Can you imagine that? Yeah. But do you guys know why they were actually doing the Naira thing? Like, why are they trying to get rid of the old notes?
I think according to them, they said they're trying to curb votes buying, and constitutionally, Nigeria is due for a for change in her notes. So that's the explanation they've given to us. Now, we believe that as much as that is true, but it also has to do with a dysfunction in the APC politics. It's revolving around politicking of our politicians.
Oh yeah, there is this assumption that is going around that they are trying to curb kidnapping. So, you know, someone said the other time that ever since they changed this note to the new note, and now we really know how scarce the new note is, that how many kidnap cases have we actually heard? It's really few now, because how will you demand a ransom and they get you the ransom and it's old notes? Where are you going to spend it? So people believe that they're trying to curb kidnapping. I am in support of this new notes. Let me just spell it out. I'm actually in support of this new notes changing and thingy. But mine is, what I'm actually particular about is, what are the policies you have on ground to make this thing actually a smooth flow? You're trying to copy America, you're trying to copy these great nations, but they actually had policies in place to make sure that the money circulates, to make sure that the citizens are okay with the new note, they're comfortable using it. But you just brought it overnight and you gave us just really short time that the money was circulating. Meanwhile, you're not pumping it into the economy, you're not pumping it into the society. So that's why people are actually complaining, because if you have the money saturated, I don't think we'll have this back and forth we're having, this struggle to get 40k, you pay 70k. I don't know how true that is. To get 20k, you pay literally 4k. Like, it's actually really frustrating. But yeah, over to you, Judith.
Thank you for that. I believe it's more of politics than kidnapping. If it was about kidnapping, these kidnappings have been happening for the past 4 years. How comes it is when the elections are almost here that we are changing currency? How comes we didn't think about this all this while? How comes the elections have been the reference point to the deadline? If you've noticed, it has just been the reference point to the deadlines. For me, I believe that this change, this currency change, is using one stone to kill 2 or even 3 birds. But the main reason is they're trying to curb votes buying. So because apparently they said, well, I read that about 2/3 of the country's money is outside the economy. Mm-hmm. So some people have allegedly kept chunks of monies in their houses, waiting to buy votes. So the idea now is, if we are changing the currency, you have to bring out these monies and take them to the bank and change them. So the money is coming back into the system, instead of just lying fallow in their rooms. And then of course, we know that there are a lot of monies that they cannot account for. If not, how would you explain that you have billions in your room? What do you do for a living? How did you get these monies? So I believe In fact, it's not my belief, it's what I read. That is the main reason. But the kidnappers, well, so too bad for them, because they are going to be affected by this. Too bad for them.
So in episode 68, we talked about Naira neglect, and we really talked about the issue with the Naira, how there's like, I think what Judith alluded to, like 2/3 is what's in circulation. The other 1/3 is out of the system. So when they say currency is out of the system, which means people are hoarding, or it doesn't come to the bank. So somebody goes to the bank and pull the money out, and that money stays with them forever. The bank never sees that money. So people have it in their sock away. Some have it in some shallow graves buried in the house. So there's not enough Naira. The amount of Naira circulation is just so it's not what it should be. So people are being forced to bring that money out so that the country and the CBN can control the currency. It doesn't make sense to have a currency that you can't control, because a lot of it get taken out. And in fact, there was one where I think it was Oceanic Bank. Somebody brought the Oceanic Bank, you remember, has already folded many years ago. But they brought the Naira note to the wrappers with Oceanic Bank. That means they collected that money for like many years ago, and they kept the money. Yeah, and they just didn't. It just stayed there, and a lot of politicians do that. So I think it's a good thing from that point of view, because you cannot control the fiscal policy of a country if you're unable to control the currency. So them trying to have currency control, I think, will help them control the economy. So far, we've talked about 3 different theories. Of course, we don't know. Go ahead.
Brother Mike, I actually have a question. Yes. This thing we're trying to control, what's the possibility that it's not going to come out again? It's not going to happen again?
Well, by putting the limits. If you remember, we had limits on the withdrawal. Those daily limits of the withdrawal. Yeah, they changed those limits. Yes. So by changing those limits, per day, by changing those limits, you can be able to regulate. I think it was Tinubu, he had like bullion bans on the day of election.
Oh my God, that is another topic for today, in fact. Can you imagine? And the effrontery of the APC to tell us that the bullion ban missed road. It was a mistake. Hey,
well,
God.
You have people, I saw the video footage. There were lots of people outside. So it is very clear that bullion ban, they won't start handing cash out to people, just cash. And the APC thing, or anyway, like Judith said, that's a whole nother topic. Go ahead, Judith.
So this brings us to the question: is this cash currency change, has it been effective so far? Because if they're trying to curb these people that have kept so much money to buy votes, and it looks like, well, there have been speculations that some bankers or some banks have taken these currencies and gone to replace the old ones that have been hoarded for a fee. So is it even effective? Allegedly. Let's not forget to add that.
Yeah, the answer is Nigeria will never continue to have maize. I believe that is not going to be effective, because the irony is that the rich people are the ones that have the new notes, the poor people don't. At the end of the day, that's what happens. And I think Ore made a comment about in UK, US, how they've done this. So when I went to Nigeria, I said I was home back in December, I had like $1,000 I came with. Unfortunately for me, $200 out of that 1,000 was like the old dollars. I did not even know it was old dollars until I got to Nigeria, and their bookie was like, this one is 780, this one is 600. I'm like, what? He said, because this one is old dollar, this one is new dollar. I said, yeah, but that doesn't make sense, that they are still dollars, because in my mind, dollar is dollar. So I'm just saying that to make a point that even the US, they don't wake up and say, we're going to pull all the... They are still there. The dollar is still in circulation. You can still see old dollars that have the old Benjamin Franklin on there. And it makes no difference. Nobody cares. It's kind of like the Nigeria Polytechnic University debate. Whereby you went to university, your degree doesn't count. You went to Polytechnic, it counts. Or you went to State University or Federal University, or you went to a FTC. Just these nonsense rubbish ideas that... Somebody went to Polytechnic, spent 8 years. He's probably better and well educated, and he knows more than the guy that spent 4 years but because he went to poly, he won't get a job at the bank. So, but this is the same thing whereby in Nigeria we're saying they are telling me that came with dollars that, well, these dollars you have, this one is no. I'm like, what are you talking? They are still all dollars, So just to make around, full circle, my point to is like in the US and other developed countries, it's not this kind of mandate where we are going to shut it down, won't take it from you. It's something done over years, except recently in India. India tried to do that. But when India gave more time than Nigeria, like this is just so ridiculous. It's unacceptable. Stupid. It makes no sense. And for Emefiele to come out and say, we give you 10 days more, like this is not the military.
Like it's a privilege.
Yeah. Like
what is even painful in this whole matter? If you give me, in fact, you can give me 2 days. I don't have a problem. But have the new cash for me.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you're giving me 10 days and I'm going to the bank and you're still
people
giving
went
me
to the
the
bank.
old
They
money.
went and deposited.
I don't understand.
It makes no sense. Like people put money, they give up their money. Like people went
Go
to the bank
ATM and
money.
still collect old cash. What? It's not funny.
Anyway, what a broken system. Hopefully people vote right. The other thing I've been saying is just PVC. Like people are hoarding PVC. Like I don't know how.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Guys, did you hear the recent? In fact, I woke up to this news. I don't know if it's off topic, but
well, clearly you've not been on topic today, so just go ahead.
Some Chadians were imported into Nigeria, almost 1 million of them, with PVCs, with Nigerian PVCs.
That one is fake news, though.
It is?
I think it's fake news.
All right, I hope so.
Are you trying to be positive?
No, I'm not trying to be positive. I can't believe it. You know how hard
so.
It is to get a Nigerian passport if you're not Nigerian.
Not passport, PVC.
Not passport.
I know, but passport and PVC.
I really hope it is fake news.
Is PVC different from passports?
It is.
So you are saying it's easier to get a PVC today than it's easier to get a passport. Which one is easier right now? If you want to get a PVC, you want to get a passport.
I don't know.
Passport was scarce now for years.
But between Chad and Nigeria, you don't need a passport.
Because they're ECOWAS, right? I get that.
Yeah.
You have a good point there. But how do you import 1 million Chadians? Like, how would you even do that?
Well,
I
saw photos of Nigeria does not have money.
Nigeria, if they have money, they would be in where we are. Nigeria is always.
Nigerians have money.
Nigerians have money.
Nigerians have
Nigeria
money.
does not have
But Nigeria,
money.
I'm just saying the country itself, because of its debts, the debt obligations.
On paper, we don't have money.
Yeah, I don't believe that personally. I think it's fake news, but maybe it's new, maybe it's true. I don't know. They're just sharing.
I hope it is fake. I actually hope it is fake.
Yeah, but even if you bring Chadians, I mean, yeah, I'm not subscribing to that. But I just don't believe that. But regardless, why regardless of the Naira changing, whether it's economical reasons, because they want to have more grip on the circulation, and they also want to control the runoff of the Naira against the dollar. I think there's a rationale for that. An argument can be made. An argument can also be made for politicking, and also the kidnapping argument can also be made to an extent. Although I think the kidnapping is probably the least, in the sense that kidnapping is a functional impediment of unemployment and joblessness. Create jobs, you solve the problem of kidnapping. You don't solve it forever, but what's the name of this lady, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala? I think her mom was kidnapped at one point now, during the formal, before Buhari, I think it was during OBJ or during Jonathan. It was during Jonathan. So I'm just saying kidnapping will always be around, sadly. Nobody wants to be kidnapped and nobody prays for it to be kidnapped. But whether you change Naira or not, just give people jobs, give youth employment, then maybe you can try to solve that.
You try to curb it.
You can curb it. Thank you. That's the word. You can try to curb it. But by the next episode we do together, we would have a new president, hopefully.
The best president.
What are you guys' prediction?
President-elect.
If you had to predict, I know this is a political risk here, having you to predict. But if you had to predict, because we are just here recording just for the elections. So I'll start with sorry, you don't have to answer first if you don't feel comfortable. But
Well, for me,
who would you
sincerely,
predict? You are going on
election is
record, though. You know
tomorrow.
this podcast. We have to listen to us from all over the world. So predict wisely. No pressure. I'm just having
Sincerely,
fun.
tomorrow is election here in Nigeria. I'm permitted to say that I've not even gotten my rights candidate. I have no idea who I'm going to vote for, and everybody's clamoring.
You have no idea, like you did
I'm
before.
serious. I'm serious. Everybody's clamoring for Peter Obi.
Is it based on money?
No, not
whoever
just
gives
money. I have my PVC. I have everything. But the thing is, people are going for Peter Obi. Pastors are saying Peter Obi. Everybody's saying Peter Obi. But is it going to deliver? Like, when someone has been heartbroken times and times and times again, I'm going to vote, definitely. This doesn't stop me from voting. But deep down, I'm not a Peter Obi person. And definitely not a Tinubu person. Definitely not Atiku. So it's like the best option I have, not the best person, but the best option I have is Peter Obi. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. I want to make a quick comment that Donald Trump won and not Hillary Clinton. Please don't judge me. I know people will say, wow, are you a Republican or Democrat? No. I'm just saying that the lot of people that sat out and what they said was that because they don't like Clinton and they don't like Bernie Sanders, they're not going to vote. And that's how Donald Trump was able to win by a very relatively narrow margin in college votes. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but point is Donald Trump lost the popular vote. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Because of the way the US is set up, they use this thing called college votes, which is not really popular votes. But if people like you had voted, and
I'm going to vote definitely tomorrow.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, but don't say.
Yeah.
I'm just trying. What I'm trying to say is that you may not have the best or the perfect candidates, so nobody will answer all your questions because people that didn't vote for Clinton were like, she's not the right person. They just didn't vote at her, and they left it like that. Yeah, because the devil is better than the angel.
That's what I'm working with.
Yeah, so I'm not saying vote for who. Me, I can't vote. I know people in Nigeria that I'm talking to. They don't have PVC. They can't get. They want PVC, but they can't get PVC. And I saw a video going viral where this woman has this bag. You know, all this bag you used to go to the market. She works for INEC. She has this bag. It happened in southeastern Nigeria, and she has this bag where but this bag used to go to market to go and buy tomato, and she has PVC inside. And she went to primary school, and she was holding the bag like that and going through. People were lining up, like lots of people. Oh my God, what a chaos! And this organization, days before the election, So anyway, Judith, what's your prediction or your thoughts
my God, this is quite dicey.
I thought you said if they give you money, you take, and you still vote for who you want to vote. Anyway, you don't care.
Yes. So on social media, it seems like Peter Obi is going to win. He's the popular choice. But I don't know. Does he have enough backing to win? Because constitutionally, it's not just the numbers. I think there's this, how do they do it? You have to have a certain percentage per state or per region. I'm not sure. You have to have like a certain percentage per region. Or is it per state? Not just having numbers.
To win the national election?
Yes. So it's not good enough that you have the highest votes, but there are regions that you did not get a certain percentage of their votes. So it's quite dicey. But from social media, it seems Peter Obi is making a good headway. But then again, there's someone we seem to be underestimating. We seem to be underestimating Atiku. The quarrels, the battles have been between Tinubu's people and Peter Obi's people, the obedience. But we are underestimating Atiku. Well, I cannot really make any prediction. Honestly, I'm trying to be careful.
It's a very dicey one.
Yeah, so just to looking up what you just said, Judith, so thank you for pointing that out because I actually didn't know that. The candidates, this is an article here on BBC. .com, the electoral system of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It said the candidate with the most votes is declared the winner in the first round of the election, as long as that candidate gains 25% of the votes in 2/3 of Nigeria's 36 states. So in other words, if Peter Obi is going to win, he will have to gain at least 25% of the votes in 24 states.
Wow.
Because 2/3 is 24. So 24 states. So in other words, can Peter Obi get 25% at least in 24 states?
In 24 states.
So thank you for that. That's a very good one. So back to your point, if he doesn't have that support within 24 states, he cannot gain 24 states to get at least a minimum of 25%. Then that's kind of a barrier. That's a big barrier for him to cross.
We seem to be underestimating Atiku, whom I believe that Northern Nigeria are going to vote for. So if he's able to coup other parts of Nigeria, I think he has a good chance.
He has a good chance, Abby. Yeah, just so people know, Nigeria is divided into 6 geopolitical zones. There's the northwest, there's the northeast, and the north central. So that's like half of Nigeria. Even in geography, that region is bigger in terms of landmass. The next thing, you have the southwest. And population. You have the southwest, you have the south, and then you have the southeast. So southeast, pretty much the Igbos. Then the south, maybe the Jaws and stuff like that. People in the riverine area. Then southwest are the Yorubas. Then the northwest, northeast, and north central. Those are the 6 regions. So we're talking about Peter Obi getting, 24 states out of the 6 with at least 25%. So that would do it for us on this episode. We just want to make sure we provide you guys some information as well. So this is something I didn't know, but I'm coming out knowing, and hopefully you learned a thing or two. My own prediction as we wrap this up is I am predicting that maybe it's going to be between Tinubu and Atiku, because I think, for the same reason that we just talked about, those people have more established parties. You have to look at the wards. In Nigeria, there's something called the wards. You have to look at the wards, and the wards is like a county, like a local government. The wards, the local government, APC and PDP are all over the place. Then you also have to look at the House of Assembly, the House of Rep. You have to look at the state. So I believe that Peter Obi had gone with a bigger party that is more established, his chances are higher. Because the ward people, the chairman people, the local government, those are people that will move people and mobilize people to vote at the end of the day. So money has to be shared up to the local government. But if you are there where you don't have local government person representing you, you don't even have governors in every state, as your party is very young. And that's one thing that Tinubu realized a few years ago when he consolidated the APC. And then he made sure there are governors in every state. So the governors love him, So I don't want to kind of disappoint people who love Obi and say, what are you talking about? This guy talking nonsense, I'm just being realistic, and this is my personal opinion. So you guys you're welcome to drop your comment or your opinion, and maybe in a week we're going to find out who the next president is. But that's all we have. Do you guys have any thoughts? Yeah, go ahead.
We don't just have 3 political parties. It's like the rest of them are just sleeping somewhere.
Yes.
We just focus on those 3.
There's a lot of them. Yeah. And I apologize to those other parties. I'm really, really sorry. We all apologize to the rest of you. You matter. You matter in the eyes of God. And also in the eyes of Nigerians.
Yeah, you matter.
Yeah, you matter in the eyes of...
Maybe not now, but later.
Yeah, with that, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate our audiences. If you have any questions, you can send us an email at talk@ballerbox.com. Thank you so much for listening in. And we pray that Nigeria will be well, and there will be peace and stability in the coming days. Thank you so much, and catch you all later. Bye.
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 Box.